For loop. In programming languages, there is usually a feature called repetition. One of the looping features is for loops. In this example, we create a simple loop in the Go programming language by initializing a counter variable with the value 1. The loop is constructed using a for statement, with the condition set to execute as long as the counter is less than 10. Within the loop, a print statement is used to output the message loop, along with the current value of the counter. The counter is then incremented by 1 in each iteration. Now it's time for us to print to see the results. For with statement. In for, we can add statements, where there are two statements that can be added in for. Init statement, namely the statement before the for, is executed. Post statement, namely a statement that will always be executed at the end of each loop. In addition to the previous example, another way to implement a loop in Go is by using the standard for loop structure. In this case, we create a variable named counter and initiate a for loop with 3 components: initialization, condition, and post statement. The initialization sets the counter to 1, the condition checks if the counter is less than 10, and the post statement increments the counter in each iteration. Now it's time for us to print to see the results. For range. For can be used to iterate over all collection data. Data collection examples include array, slice, and map. In the subsequent example, we employ the range keyword to iterate over the elements of a array in the Go programming language. Prior to this, we initialize a array containing strings. The for loop is then structured to utilize the range keyword, facilitating the iteration over each element of the array. Within the loop, 2 variables, index and element, are employed to represent the index and value of the current element, respectively. The program proceeds to execute specific actions for each iteration, such as printing the index and element values. Exercises. Use a for loop to print even numbers from 2 to 10. Use an if statement to determine if a number is even. Declare an array of strings fruits with a few fruit names. Use a for loop with range to print each fruit. In addressing the first question, a solution is implemented in the Go programming language using a for loop to print even numbers from 2 to 10. The loop is structured with an index variable, I, initialized to 2, and a termination condition set for less than 10. The loop's post statement increments by 2 in each iteration. Within the loop, an if statement is introduced to check whether the index, when divided by 2, yields a remainder of 0, indicating an even number. If this condition is satisfied, the program proceeds to print the current value of I. Now it's time for us to print to see the results. For the second question, we approach it by first creating an array named fruits with the values apple, banana, orange, and grape in the Go programming language. Subsequently, we utilize a loop with the range keyword to iterate through each element of the fruits array and print each fruit.